McGraw-Hill Ascent Audio presents CompTIA Security Plus All-in-One Exam Guide, 6th edition, Exam SY0-601, by William Arthur Conklin and Greg White. Narrated by Derek Shoales. Publisher's Note: this audiobook has bonus material. Please contact whomever you purchase this audiobook from to request the material. All figures, tables, glossary sections, and visual elements referenced in this audiobook can be found in the bonus material. Publisher's Note: please refer to the steps noted in Appendix B for instructions on how to access online content. Disclaimer: the work is provided as is. McGraw-Hill Education and its licensors make no guarantees or warranties as to the accuracy, adequacy, or completeness of or results to be obtained from using the work, including any information that can be accessed through the work via hyperlink or otherwise, and expressly disclaim any warranty, express or implied, including but not limited to implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. McGraw-Hill Education and its licensors do not warrant or guarantee that the functions contained in the work will meet your requirements or that its operation will be uninterrupted or error-free. Neither McGraw-Hill Education nor its licensors shall be liable to you or anyone else for any inaccuracy, error, or omission, regardless of cause, in the work or for any damages resulting therefrom. McGraw-Hill Education has no responsibility for the content of any information accessed through the work. Under no circumstances shall McGraw-Hill Education and or its licensors be liable for any indirect, incidental, special, punitive, consequential, or similar damages that result from the use of or inability to use the work, even if any of them has been advised of the possibility of such damages. This limitation of liability shall apply to any claim or cause whatsoever, whether such claim or cause arises in contract, tort, or otherwise. Preface: cybersecurity has moved from the confines of academia to mainstream America. From the ransomware attacks to data disclosures such as Equifax and U.S. Office of Personnel Management that were heavily covered in the media and broadcast into the average American's home, information security has become a common topic. In boardrooms, the topic has arrived with the technical attacks against intellectual property and the risk exposure from cybersecurity incidents. It has become increasingly obvious to everyone that something needs to be done in order to secure not only our nation's critical infrastructure, but also the businesses we deal with on a daily basis. These issues have brought to light the serious shortage of cybersecurity professionals. The question is, where do we begin? What can the average information technology professional do to secure the systems that he or she is hired to maintain? The answer to these questions is complex, but certain aspects can guide our actions. First, no one knows what the next big threat will be. APTs, ransomware, data disclosures. These were all known threats long before they became the major threat du jour. What is next? No one knows, so we can't buy a magic box to fix it. Yet. But we do know that we will do it with the people we have, at their current level of training, when it arrives. The one investment we know will be good is in our people, through education and training, because that will be what we bring to the next incident, problem, challenge, or, collectively, our national defense in the realm of cybersecurity. One could say security today begins and ends with our people, and trained people will result in better outcomes. So, where do you, the IT professional seeking more knowledge on security, start your studies? The IT world is overflowing with certifications that can be obtained by those attempting to learn more about their chosen profession. The security sector is no different, and the CompTIA Security Plus exam offers a basic level of certification for security. CompTIA Security Plus is an ideal starting point for one interested in a career in security. In this exam guide, you will find not only material that can help you prepare for taking the CompTIA Security Plus examination, but also the basic information you will need in order to understand the issues involved in securing your computer systems and networks today. In no way is this exam guide the final source for learning all about protecting your organization's systems, but it serves as a point from which to launch your security studies and career. One thing is certainly true about this field of study: it never gets boring. It constantly changes as technology itself advances. Something else you will find as you progress in your security studies is that no matter how much technology advances, and no matter how many new security devices are deployed, at the most basic level, the human element is still the weak link in the security chain. If you are looking for an exciting area to delve into, then you've certainly chosen wisely. Security offers a challenging blend of technology and people issues. We, the authors of this exam guide, wish you luck as you embark on an exciting and challenging career path. William Arthur Conklin, Ph.D. Gregory B. White, Ph.D. Introduction. Computer security has become paramount as the number of security incidents steadily climbs. Many corporations now spend significant portions of their budget on security hardware, software, services, and personnel. They're spending this money not because it increases sales or enhances the product they provide, but because of the possible consequences should they not take protective actions. Why focus on security? Security is not something that we want to have to pay for. It would be nice if we didn't have to worry about protecting our data from disclosure, modification, or destruction from unauthorized individuals. But that is not the environment we find ourselves in today. Instead, we have seen the cost of recovering from security incidents steadily rise along with the numbers of incidents themselves. Cyber attacks and information disclosures are occurring so often that one almost ignores them on the news. But with the theft of over 145 million consumers' credit data from Equifax, with the subsequent resignation of the CSO and CEO, and hearings in Congress over the role of legislative oversight with respect to critical records, a new sense of purpose with regard to securing data may be at hand. The days of paper reports and corporate lip service may be waning, but the time to meet the new challenges of even more sophisticated attackers has arrived. This will not be the last data breach, nor will attackers stop attacking our systems. So our only path forward is to have qualified professionals defending our systems. A growing need for security specialists. In order to protect our computer systems and networks, we need a significant number of new security professionals trained in the many aspects of computer and network security. This is not an easy task, as the systems connected to the internet become increasingly complex, with software whose lines of code number in the millions. Understanding why this is such a difficult problem to solve is not hard, if you consider just how many errors might be present in a piece of software that is several million lines long. When you add the factor of how fast software is being developed, from necessity as the market is constantly changing, understanding how errors occur is easy. Not every bug in the software will result in a security hole, but it doesn't take many to have a drastic effect on the internet community. We can't just blame the vendors for the situation, because they are reacting to the demands of government and industry. Many vendors are fairly adept at developing patches for flaws found in their software, and patches are constantly being issued to protect systems from bugs that may introduce security problems. This introduces a whole new problem for managers and administrators: patch management. How important this has become is easily illustrated by how many of the most recent security events have occurred as a result of a security bug that was discovered months prior to the security incident, and for which a patch has been available, but the community has not correctly installed it, thus making the incident possible. The reasons for these failures are many, but in the end, the solution is a matter of trained professionals at multiple levels in an organization working together to resolve these problems. But the issue of trained people does not stop with security professionals. Every user, from the boardroom to the mailroom, plays a role in the cybersecurity posture of a firm. Training the non-security professional in the enterprise to use the proper level of care when interacting with systems will not make the problem go away either, but it will substantially strengthen the posture of the enterprise. Understanding the needed training and making it a reality is another task on the security professional's to-do list. Because of the need for an increasing number of security professionals who are trained to some minimal level of understanding, certifications such as the CompTIA Security Plus have been developed. Prospective employers want to know that the individual they are considering hiring knows what to do in terms of security. The prospective employee, in turn, wants to have a way to demonstrate his or her level of understanding, which can enhance the candidate's chances of being hired. The community as a whole simply wants more trained security professionals. The goal of taking the CompTIA Security Plus exam is to prove that you've mastered the worldwide standards for foundation-level security practitioners. The exam gives you a perfect opportunity to validate your knowledge and understanding of the computer security field, and it is an appropriate mechanism for many different individuals, including network and system administrators, analysts, programmers, web designers, application developers, and database specialists, to show proof of professional achievement in security. According to CompTIA, the exam is aimed at individuals who have a minimum of 2 years of experience in IT administration with a focus on security, day-to-day technical information security experience, broad knowledge of security concerns and implementation, including the topics that are found in the specific CompTIA Security Plus domains. The exam objectives were developed with input and assistance from industry and government agencies. The CompTIA Security Plus exam is designed to cover a wide range of security topics, subjects a security practitioner would be expected to know. The test includes information from 5 knowledge domains. Domain 1.0 Threats, Attacks, and Vulnerabilities. Percent of exam 24%. Domain 2.0 Architecture and Design. Percent of exam 21%. Domain 3.0 Implementation. Percent of exam 25%. Domain 4.0 Operations and Incident Response. Percent of exam 16%. 5.0 Governance, Risk, and Compliance. Percent of exam 14%. The exam consists of a series of questions, each designed to have a single best answer or response. The other available choices are designed to provide options that an individual might choose if he or she had an incomplete knowledge or understanding of the security topic represented by the question. The exam will have both multiple choice and performance-based questions. Performance-based questions present the candidate with the task of a problem in a simulated IT environment. The candidate is given an opportunity to demonstrate his or her ability in performing skills. The exam questions are based on the CompTIA Security Plus Certification Exam Objectives SY0-601 document obtainable from the CompTIA website at certification.comptia.org/certifications/security. CompTIA recommends that individuals who want to take the CompTIA Security Plus exam have the CompTIA Network Plus certification and 2 years of IT administration experience with an emphasis on security. Originally administered only in English, the exam is now offered in testing centers around the world in English, Japanese, Portuguese, and simplified Chinese. Consult the CompTIA website at comptia.org to determine a test center location near you. The exam consists of a maximum of 90 questions to be completed in 90 minutes. A minimum passing score is considered 750 out of a possible 900 points. Results are available immediately after you complete the exam. An individual who fails to pass the exam the first time will be required to pay the exam fee again to retake the exam, but no mandatory waiting period is required before retaking it the second time. If the individual again fails the exam, a minimum waiting period of 30 days is required for each subsequent retake. For more information on retaking exams, consult CompTIA's retake policy, which can be found on its website. Preparing yourself for the CompTIA Security Plus exam. CompTIA Security Plus All-in-One Exam Guide 6th edition is designed to help prepare you to take CompTIA Security Plus Certification Exam SY0-601. How this book is organized. The book itself is divided into sections and chapters to correspond with the objectives of the exam itself. Some of the chapters are more technical than others, reflecting the nature of the security environment, where you will be forced to deal with not only technical details, but also other issues such as security policies and procedures as well as training and education. Although many individuals involved in computer and network security have advanced degrees in math, computer science, information systems, or computer or electrical engineering, you do not need this technical background to address security effectively in your organization. You do not need to develop your own cryptographic algorithm, for example. You simply need to be able to understand how cryptography is used, along with its strengths and weaknesses. As you progress in your studies, you will learn that many security problems are caused by the human element. The best technology in the world still ends up being placed in an environment where humans have the opportunity to foul things up, and all too often do. The overall structure of the book is designed to mirror the objectives of the CompTIA Security Plus exam. The majority of the chapters are designed to match the objectives order as posted by CompTIA. This structure was used to make it easier to search specific content based on the objective. When studying certain topics, you may be required to go to several places in the book to fully cover a topic that has multiple objectives. In addition, there are 2 appendixes in this book. Appendix A provides an additional in-depth explanation of the OSI model and Internet protocols, should this information be new to you, and Appendix B explains how best to use the online materials included with the book. In the accompanying bonus PDF, you will find a useful glossary of security terminology, including many related acronyms and their meanings. We hope that you use the glossary frequently and find it to be a useful study aid as you work your way through the various topics in this exam guide. Special features of the All-in-One series. To make these exam guides more useful, the All-in-One series has been designed to include several features. Objective Map. The objective map, found in the accompanying bonus PDF, has been constructed to allow you to cross-reference the official exam objectives with the objectives as they are presented and covered in this book. References have been provided for each objective exactly as CompTIA presents it, along with the chapter reference. Icons. To alert you to an important bit of advice, a shortcut, or a pitfall, you'll occasionally hear notes, tips, cautions, and exam tips peppered throughout the text. Note. Notes offer nuggets of especially helpful stuff, background explanations, and information, and they define terms occasionally. Tip. Tips provide suggestions and nuances to help you learn to finesse your job. Take a tip from us and listen to the tips carefully. Caution. When you hear caution, pay special attention. Cautions appear when you have to make a crucial choice, or when you are about to undertake something that may have ramifications you might not immediately anticipate. Listen to them now so you don't have regrets later. Exam tip. Exam tips give you special advice or may provide information specifically related to preparing for the exam itself. End of chapter reviews and questions. An important part of this book comes at the end of each chapter, where you will find a brief review of the high points along with a series of questions, followed by the answers to those questions. Each question is in multiple choice format. The answers provided also include a small discussion explaining why the correct answer actually is the correct answer. The questions are provided as a study aid to you, the listener, and prospective CompTIA Security Plus exam taker. We obviously can't guarantee that if you answer all of our questions correctly, you will absolutely pass the certification exam. Instead, what we can guarantee is that the questions will provide you with an idea about how ready you are for the exam. Security Plus proposed hardware and software list. CompTIA provides a sample list of hardware and software in its exam objectives description to assist candidates as they prepare for the Security Plus exam. Because the material includes elements that require hands-on competency, it is useful to build a lab and practice hands-on skills as part of the study process. The following lists after each topic are sample lists and are not exhaustive. Hardware. Laptop with Internet access. Separate Wireless Network Access Card, NIC. Wireless Access Point, WAP. Firewall. Unified Threat Monitor, UTM. Mobile device. Server or cloud server. IoT devices. Software. Virtualization software. Penetration testing OS or distributions, for example, Kali Linux, Parrot OS. Security Information and Event Management, SIEM. Wireshark. Metasploit. TCP dump. Other. Access to a cloud service provider. The Online Total Tester. CompTIA Security Plus All-in-One Exam Guide 6th edition also provides you with the test engine containing even more practice exam questions and their answers to help you prepare for the certification exam. Hear more about the companion online Total Tester practice exam software and how to register for and access your exams in Appendix B. Onward and upward. At this point, we hope you are now excited about the topic of security, even if you weren't in the first place. We wish you luck in your endeavors and welcome you to the exciting field of computer and network security. Part 1. Threats, Attacks, and Vulnerabilities. Chapter 1. Social Engineering Techniques. In this chapter you will examine the types of attacks associated with social engineering, compare and contrast the different social engineering techniques. Social engineering is a method of using people as part of an attack process. Social engineering is just a step in the overall attack process, but it is an effective way of starting an attack on a system. There are various forms of technical attacks against the computer components of a system, but in each case, there is a starting point by which the attack is presented to the system. In this chapter, we examine the various types of social engineering techniques that can be employed to begin the attack cycle. Certification Objective. This chapter covers CompTIA Security Plus Exam Objective 1.1. Compare and contrast different types of social engineering techniques. Social engineering methods. Social engineering is an attack against a user and typically involves some form of social interaction. The weakness that is being exploited in the attack is not necessarily one of technical knowledge or even security awareness. Social engineering at its heart involves manipulating the very social nature of interpersonal relationships. It, in essence, preys on several characteristics we tend to desire. The willingness to help, for instance, is a characteristic one would like to see in a team environment. We want employees who help each other, and we tend to reward those who are helpful and punish those who are not. If our work culture is built around collaboration and teamwork, then how can this be exploited? It is not simple, but it can be accomplished through a series of subtle ruses. One is built around the concept of developing a sense of familiarity, making it seem as if you belong to the group. For example, by injecting yourself into a conversation or encounter, armed with the right words and the correct information, you can make it seem as if you belong. Through careful name-dropping and aligning your story with current events and expectations, you can just slip in unnoticed. Another example is by arriving at a door at the same time as a person with an ID card, carrying something in both your hands. You probably can get them to open and hold the door for you. An even more successful technique is to have a conversation on the way to the door over something that makes you fit in. People want to help, and this tactic encourages the person to help you. A second method involves creating a hostile situation. People tend to want to avoid hostility, so if you are engaged in a heated argument with someone as you enter the group you wish to join, making sure not only that you are losing the argument, but that it also seems totally unfair, you instantly can build a connection to anyone who has been similarly mistreated. Play on sympathy, the desire for compassion, and use the situation to bypass the connection opportunity. A good social engineer understands how to use body language to influence others, how to smile at the right time, how to mirror movements, how to influence others not through words, but through body language cues. Eye contact can signal interest to others. Gestures and posture can be used to gain the attention of those watching. Gaining someone's attention can lead to interactions that can be further exploited. When someone has the key information you need for a project, a proposal, or any other important thing, trading a quid pro quo is an unspoken ritual. And if you do this with someone who has malicious intent, then remember the saying, beware of Greeks bearing gifts. Note: much of social engineering will play to known stereotypical behavior. Detailing this material is not meant to justify the behaviors, for they are in fact wrong. But it is important to watch for them, for these are the tools used by social engineers. Crying babies, flirting, hiding in plain sight, the janitor, plant waterer, pizza delivery person. We are all blinded by biases and conditioning, and social engineers know and exploit these weaknesses. And if called out on their behavior, they will even go with that and protest too much or agree too much, whatever it takes to win a person over. Don't be that person. either the one using stereotypes or the one falling prey to them. The best defense against social engineering attacks is a comprehensive training and awareness program that includes social engineering, but this does not mean that employees should be trained to be stubborn and unhelpful. Rather, training should emphasize the value of being helpful and working as a team, but doing so in an environment where trust is verified and is a ritual without social stigma. No one will get past Transportation Security Administration, TSA employees with social engineering techniques when checking in at an airport because they dispassionately enforce and follow set procedures, but they frequently do so with kindness, politeness, and helpfulness while also ensuring that the screening procedures are always completed. Exam tip. For the exam, be familiar with all of the various social engineering attacks and the associated effectiveness of each attack. Tools. The tools in a social engineer's toolbox are based on a knowledge of psychology and don't necessarily require sophisticated knowledge of software or hardware. The social engineer will employ strategies aimed at exploiting people's own biases and beliefs in a manner to momentarily deny them the service of good judgment and the use of standard procedures. Employing social engineering tools is second nature to a social engineer, and with skill they can switch these tools in and out in any particular circumstance, just as a plumber uses various hand tools and a system administrator uses OS commands to achieve complex tasks. When watching any of these professionals work, we may marvel at how they wield their tools, and the same is true for social engineers, except their tools are more subtle, and the targets are people and trust. The techniques that are commonly employed in many social engineering attacks are described next. Phishing. Phishing is a type of social engineering in which an attacker attempts to obtain sensitive information from users by masquerading as a trusted entity in an email or instant message sent to a large group of often random users. The attacker attempts to obtain information such as usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, and details about the user's bank accounts. The message that is sent often encourages the user to go to a website that appears to be for a reputable entity, such as PayPal or eBay, both of which have frequently been used in phishing attempts. The website the user actually visits is not owned by the reputable organization, however, and asks the user to supply information that can be used in a later attack. Often the message sent to the user states that the user's account has been compromised and requests, for security purposes, the user to enter their account information to verify the details. In another very common example of phishing, the attacker sends a bulk email, supposedly from a bank, telling the recipients that a security breach has occurred and instructing them to click a link to verify that their account has not been tampered with. If the individual actually clicks the link, they are taken to a site that appears to be owned by the bank, but is actually controlled by the attacker. When they supply their account and password for verification purposes, the individual is actually giving it to the attacker. Exam tip. Phishing is now the most common form of social engineering attack related to computer security. The target could be a computer system and access to the information found on it, as is the case when the phishing attempt asks for a user ID and password, or it could be personal information, generally financial, about an individual, in the case of phishing attempts that ask for an individual's banking information. Smishing. Smishing is an attack using short message service, SMS, on victims' cell phones. It is a version of phishing via SMS. It begins with an SMS message directing a user to a URL that can serve up a variety of attack vectors, including forms of malware. This attack works primarily due to the use of urgency and intimidation in the message, which might use a warning such as, "You are subscribed to XYZ service, which will begin regular billings of $2 a month. Click here to unsubscribe before billing takes place." When the user clicks the URL, the next phase of the attack can begin. Vishing. Vishing is a variation of phishing that uses voice communication technology to obtain the information the attacker is seeking. Vishing takes advantage of the trust that some people place in the telephone network. Users are unaware that attackers can simulate calls from legitimate entities using voice over IP, VoIP technology. Voice messaging can also be compromised and used in these attempts. This tactic is used to establish a form of trust that is then exploited by the attacker over the phone. Generally, the attacker is hoping to obtain credit card numbers or other information that can be used in identity theft. The user may receive an email asking them to call a number that is answered by a potentially...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?